Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas's got you covered. Introducing Leaf Guard, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never, ever clog. With Leaf Guard, you can kiss goodbye to all the hassle of climbing up and cleaning out all that muck and mud and shingle grit. No more hiring someone else to do it, or worse yet, risking serious damage and issues by doing nothing at all. Spring is finally here, which means it's time for Leaf Guard's famous Ugly Gutter event. Leaf Guard will swoop in, take down, and haul away all those unsightly gutters at absolutely no charge, and you'll receive an incredible 60% off installation on a whole house Leaf Guard gutter system. But wait, there's more. Ask about the 0% financing options and additional discounts for seniors and military personnel. Do not let ugly gutters ruin your home's curb appeal or cause costly damage. Call 501-664-5400 or visit LeafGuardandMore.com to schedule your free estimate today. Leaf Guard of Arkansas, protecting your home one seamless gutter at a time.
For a nation searching for a voice to guide it through this modern-day wilderness of popular culture, politics, business, and sports. In these troubled times, we turn to one man. That man is Bill Vickery. Born with rural American values, possessed with superhuman brain capacity, buttery smooth charm, razor-sharp wit, chiseled good looks. He's chosen to use his superpowers for the good of all mankind. So this Sunday, the nation turns to this man for answers and direction. To Bill Vickery and the Sunday Buzz.
I be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. I've sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head?
Happy St. Patrick's Sunday morning. For those of you who are Irish and Catholic, a day as you well are. Todd, I know it's a confusing day. Do you want to get drunk or do you want to go to Mass? Or both?
Go to Mass first.
There you go.
Then do the other part.
There you go. So one of those rare occasions when St. Patrick's Day falls on Sunday. All the parties and everything yesterday. But that's like having Christmas. It's opening your presents on New Year's Eve. If you don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day on St. Patrick's Day, that's like opening all your presents on Christmas Eve. Santa didn't come on the 23rd. No, he comes on Christmas Eve, and then you open your presents Christmas morning. You celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Look. You just got to answer the bell, too. Got to get them, go to work, get it done. But it is today, St. Patrick's Day, so, and a ton of folks downtown, the St. Patrick's Day parade yesterday. We all embrace our Irish cousins. Of course, America with a long and rich tradition of Irish immigrants coming to this country. The last great migration into the United States over a century ago, or about a century ago. Now, of course. Oh, and the Ides of March on the 15th. We had that one, too.
Yeah.
Watch out. I stayed away from everyone named Brute. Brutus. Brutus, I didn't realize that. So, yeah, get my back to the wall there. So, fun show today. A lot of stuff to get into. Presidential race is pretty much set up as now as both candidates have the minimum number of delegates to achieve the party's nomination, and we've known that for a while. But the general election campaign really kicking in, I think, when both candidates went down to the border at the same time. And we talked about last week, old Biden and his speech, the State of the Union, and then that old gal from Georgia, that pushy gal from Georgia running up to him. Don't blame Biden for reacting the way he did. But, because it would have scared me too. If you see that old gal coming at you, all dressed up in the MAGA stuff and... I think I think I sat next to her at a couple of Razorback games maybe 20 years ago. Hey, buddy. Hugs. Put in Sorahan. Stats will be on a little bit later. We'll determine whether Arkansas is a 3, 4, or 5 seed. Oh, no, he won't do that, will he? No. And just like in basketball, disgruntled team. Well, anytime you're losing, you're always disgruntled. I mean, this should come as anytime you underperform expectations, the narrative is always going to turn to disgruntled players and opinions in the transfer portal. And I love them. We all, it's happy to see that I don't want to say that racism is alive and well in America. I'd like to think that we're trying to do better as a society. And we can get doing it, but I'll let it go. I'll just let it go in opinions in the transfer portal. So nobody has to wait and watch. Is he in? Get us some offense. So the career of Devontae Davis comes to an end. Yeah. Uh-huh. To me, no. I'm struggling to find the proper analogy for Devontae Davis's 4 years as a Razorback. And this year probably, and it's so difficult. And these kids today, you parents haven't done them any favors. You really haven't. It went from the participation trophy to now I want to be in charge. Now and you have to respect my actions because I'm going through something. I'm this or that or the other thing. And you got to wonder, and I've said it aloud on this program, and I don't know. I don't have a secret formula to solve this question. But could it be that we see young people today sometimes, am I properly caveating all this like I'm the president of Harvard? Could it be that sometimes that young people may cloak their petulance in, quote, mental health issues? Now, there's no doubt in my mind there are people struggling with mental health issues and deserves to be recognized and dealt with and engaged with above board in a positive manner, the way you would deal with anything that affects the body, the mind, the soul. Courage that it takes to do that. Fine pat on the back for all the people that do that. But some instances that we see societally now, and, sport is not immune from those things. Maybe it's petulance, but then everybody knows the right words to say. Everybody knows the right way to to package it to not have to accept the consequences of actions, because it's packaged in such a see, maybe that stuff happens. Maybe, you got some of the players have it over on the coaches, and there's some issues that we don't touch with a 10-foot pole in this country, and so therefore they make the best packaging. And one is able to achieve or not do, avoid consequences, whatever it might be. Come and go as you please, all of that. I'm just pointing that out, that occasionally I know we think that happens, or that has to happen. Anyway, well, that was a minefield to try to walk through. But the let's just be blunt here. The petulance on the team just is what it is, and you ended up with a losing season. And all these rumors, is Musk going to Louisville? Is he going to go coach the Bryant Hornets? Is he going to UCLA? Is he going to, I don't know. I think he's probably going to stay, but I don't know. There's an opening, and is Louisville a better program? And I'll throw it out there. Is UCLA a better program? I'm going to say it's not. They're the Big Ten now. Got a much tougher basketball schedule, and tougher travel, and a fan base that really doesn't. This isn't Bill Walton, buddy. This isn't Keith Wilkes from the corner. This isn't Lou Alcindor and the Dominants. It's not John Wooden. This isn't the old school. This isn't Ed O'Bannon and the team that beat Arkansas. This is a team that really hasn't fired a cap in 2 decades. But is the search for lifestyle, is that something, is that a deal? Pauley Pavilion, been around a long time. Isn't exactly the showplace of the West. One could make an argument that they're not even the best team in Los Angeles anymore. So, a Midland Pac-12 team that really hasn't been around for a while. Is it really the money? Maybe even a little bit less out there, maybe. So we'll see, but in Louisville, okay. Rich history, again, same kind of deal. Or maybe Musk just gets restless every now and then. Or maybe there's absolutely nothing to these. I heard on very good authority, there was a plane on the tarmac in Orlando to bring Gus Malzahn to be the next head basketball coach at the University of Arkansas. Now, I've got that from very good sources. There is a plane on the tarmac at Disney International to bring Gus Malzahn to Arkansas to be the next head basketball coach. Very good sources in Fayetteville tell me that's happening as we speak. Breaking news. St. Patrick's Day, breaking news, Gus Malzahn, next head basketball coach at the University of Arkansas. There you go. Bunch of idiots. Okay. Well, a little Irish flavor to today's show. Presidential election coming up. Going to talk about that. How about the poor old boy in Georgia? Now he had to step down. Well, you knew. All you had to do was watch those two testify, and you knew that prosecutor woman, Fani, whatever her name is, you knew she wasn't going anywhere. My man had to take the bullet on that one. I feel for that guy. I genuinely feel for that guy. That the attorney there in Atlanta, this quote special prosecutor. I feel for him, man. And there's a Tyler Perry movie in this somewhere. Come back with us.
will soon subside. So in a word, don't shed a tear. I'll be here when it all gets weird. If I ever leave this world alive. So when in doubt, just call my name. Just before you go insane.
If there's anything green in your yard right now, it's probably a weed, and you need to do something about it. Weed control and fertilization service from Sanders Ground Essentials is easier and less expensive than doing nothing or trying to do it yourself. I did that one time and almost killed my yard. Sanders Ground Essentials saves you time and money and makes your yard the envy of the neighborhood. Don't wait. Do it now. Call Sanders Ground Essentials and get started with Sanders Ground Essentials Weed Control Program. Servicing all of Central Arkansas, including Benton and Bryant, on the web at sandersground.com. Let's get growing.
Arkansas golf legend John Daly joins the mayhem each week, brought to you by Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today, and by Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer, family-owned and operated diesel and truck repair you can trust.
Embark on a journey through the most absurd moments of the human story with Ridiculous History, the podcast that explores the bizarre corners of human existence, like the evolution of the toilet, the story of Comic Sans, or the exploits of the notorious Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr is like, one day, my life is going to be part of a musical.
However, though, he probably didn't necessarily at this point think that he was going to be the villain.
Listen to Ridiculous History, wherever you get your podcasts.
Ball forward, take your base.
The only thing worse than a pitcher running out of gas on the mound is your old phone running out of storage for your photos in the stands.
Goodbye, home run.
Switch to Verizon and get a great deal on a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage for all the ballpark pics you want. Just trade in your iPhone, any model, in any condition, so you'll feel like you're winning, even when your team's not. Trade in any iPhone in any condition for a great deal on iPhone 15 Pro with unlimited Ultimate, and get iPad and Apple Watch SE with eligible service plan, only on Verizon.
Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort presents Oaklawn Game Day, an inside look at the week's big games, exciting prop bets, and the latest betting lines from Oaklawn Sportsbook. Justin Acri and Oaklawn's Director of Sports Wagering, Zach Gillum, give you all the info you need to place your bets at Oaklawn. Catch it on the Buzz Wednesday nights at 7, and again Thursday mornings at 5:30 before Morning Mayhem. Oaklawn Game Day on your fun and game station, 103.7 The Buzz.
Do you need Rainwater, Holt, and Sexton? Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888. It really is just that easy. If you've been injured and need help, it doesn't matter where in Arkansas you are. Just dial 888-8888. We'll come to you. I'm Mike Rainwater of Rainwater, Holt, and Sexton. We have been thankfully serving Arkansans for years, and we appreciate the trust you've put in us. We work hard for you, Arkansas, each and every day. Anywhere in the state, dial 8.
Join Out of Bounds this Thursday at Cigar Republic, celebrating their 5-year anniversary. Out of Bounds will be broadcasting live as the NCAA tournament tips off on the 16 huge TVs. Cigar Republic on the corner of Breckenridge and Rodney Parham, your cigar and whiskey destination.
Clint Sterner here for Low T Center. Fellas, if you've been feeling tired and grumpy, maybe you've noticed a lack of motivation and drive, a little weight gain, loss of muscle mass. These could all be signs of low testosterone levels. It happens. It's not if, it's when. The key, fellas, is that you address the issue. At Low T Center, it's easy to get your levels checked. We're talking a simple blood test with results back in about 25 minutes. Low T Center, it's not your typical doctor's office. No, sir. It's concierge medicine for all of us men. They're physicians. They specialize in treating low testosterone with customized treatments for each patient. Most health insurance is accepted for treatment, and they have affordable and convenient treatment options, including physician-monitored self-inject treatments for established patients. Those treatments, they ship directly to your home each and every month, so there's no need to drive to the center for weekly visits. Right now, Low T Center, it's only $25 to get your T levels tested with the results back in 25 minutes. Make your health and quality of life a priority and go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
More of the Sunday Buzz with Bill Vickery.
You are now free to turn up the volume as loud as you want.
I went home on a Monday night, as drunk could be. I saw a horse outside the door, where my old horse should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that horse outside the door, where my old horse should be? You're drunk, you silly old fool, till you cannot see.
As I was prepping for the show, I'm sorry. I do no preparation for this show, of course.
Show prep? What's that?
Show prep, please. As I was listening to some Irish folk music, I noted how close it is to really good country music.
True.
I mean,
bluegrass? Yeah.
Just drunk, somebody else's horse is in front of my place.
Someone took my girl. I don't like it.
Exactly. The Dubliners. I mean, they could be the June Carter Cash family. Okay. Maybe not June Carter. Maybe. Did you see this? This didn't come from the New York Times. This didn't come from the Washington Post. This didn't come from the Wall Street Journal. This didn't come from, let's say, other, quote, respected news sources. This didn't, no, none of those. This is from Inside Edition. And I noticed it this week watching a couple of clips of President Biden. And again, let me caveat my comments that I'm about to make by saying this. When I get to be that man's age, I hope that I'm moving around and acting the same way he is. My father, who's 86, has a touch of neuropathy, but he's still moving around pretty good. The man's going to live to be 130, you know? So,
with the grace of God and modern medicine.
So, you know, let's all just say that we appreciate that. Now, the fact the man's the president of the United States and has a job, okay. I mean, and I'll point this out before anyone says, oh, the New York Times did a front page article on the number of Diet Cokes that Donald Trump drank in a day. By the way, unsubstantiated account, too. No footnoted facts nor firsthand accounts. Undisclosed sources claim that Trump drinks 12 Diet Cokes a day or 14 or whatever it was. Front page story. So I point that out for context in that it was not the Times, the Post, the Journal, ABC, NBC, anything. Inside Edition. Remember that Inside Edition? Where that's the one where O'Reilly used to be a long time. We'll do it live! We'll do it live! Sting up with a video. Okay, Inside Edition, which I didn't even know was still around. They do a story on something that I did notice. Joe Biden's shoes. Joe Biden now wears tennis shoes. He wears, as my dad would call them, and not disparagingly, he wears diabetes shoes. And again, I'm not making it up. It's
so they're Velcro, not laced?
But they are the Hoka or whatever the
Hoka,
Hoka. Yeah, they're the Hokas. Now they're black with the black Velcro over them. And so, but he's doing so because they provide, as my father calls them, they're diabetes shoes. And, you know, you see what I mean? They've got the big Velcro straps that go over the top of them. And they've got the wider sort of sole, rubber sole.
The footbed,
Yeah. So that's what Biden is now wearing regularly. And the shoes are designed, as Inside Edition told us, the shoes are designed to help people with neuropathy stand up. And I say hats off. My father, 86, has neuropathy in his, and the man still gets around.
Wider base, promotes blood flow.
Yeah, all of that.
Cushioning.
Cushioning, the whole Megillah. It's sort of like the kicking shoe, you know?
Without the square toe.
Without the square toe. I mean, talk about a jailbreak after every touchdown that the Van Buren Pointers scored. I mean, score 4 times in a game and still it doesn't matter. The manager runs halfway out on the field. He throws the shoe. The shoe goes over the offensive lineman's head who's trying to catch it to put it on. Then he has to put it on and sit down and then throw it. And then, you know, he had poor old Jerry Don Parsons had to kick one barefoot one time. and it didn't, we weren't as successful maybe as, or then now, the soccer style kickers, they like the really tight, thin, they want to kick that, or Tony Franklin just kicked it barefoot. But that's what, and they've taken to calling them Air Bidens. But he's wearing, and again, I note this only because major news outlets during the Trump presidency went into great detail on Diet Cokes. And now you have a president who's putting on some shoes so that he won't fall down. And that is reality. That's just the way it is. We saw this happened on Friday. Whoever the judge was I guess they were looking at whether is it Fanny or Fawny? Somebody explained to me that it was Fawny versus Fanny. It doesn't matter. It's a pretty name. It's a nice, you remember Fanny Fox? Wasn't that the girl, the Argentinian firecracker who was with Wilbur Mills? Wasn't that Fanny Fox? I can't remember. Anyway, when I watched the testimony of the two of them trying to explain how their relationship started, and I got to tell you, man, I felt for the guy, and I'm being very sincere. I felt for the guy. Seems like a nice guy. He's out there in Buckhead with his law practice, trying to work on a slip and fall, because he doesn't. If he didn't win your case, he doesn't get a dime. And so, poor old Nathan Wade, he's got. Did you say it was a Walmart truck that hit you? I mean, first thing that came to mind was Jackie Childs. I've been waiting to get my hands on a cigarette company. Your face is my case. And then of course Kramer goes and put the bomb on it. Anyway, some Seinfeld fan has had to pull over because they're laughing too hard right now. So I felt for the guy. He got up there and they grilled him, and she got up and basically, she was able to just, go Cardi B. What you doing? You don't know talk to me that way. I mean, just very, and I watched it, and hey, if I'm on her team, that's what she was indignant. And as I said when we were going to break, somewhere there's a Medea movie in this whole fiasco. So the judge comes out on Friday and says, hey, look, either you, as the prosecutor, resign from the case and you can keep this old boy on your staff, or he's got to resign and you can continue on. Well, all you had to do was watch that testimony to see who ran the show there. This is the Clintons all over again. All they were missing was some daughter walking in between them as he's holding on to a dog and they're walking to a helicopter or something like, I have sinned. And as I noted, Clinton was watching that on TV going, what an amateur. You got to work in is. So, no, don't admit dates and times. That's crazy, man. You just say, I don't know, something about that, and we were somewhere, and some other stuff happened. It all depends on what the definition of is. Take that. Ha! Meanwhile, he's up there, poor old Dwayne Wade. He's up there having to the sweat's pouring down like he's in a 60 Minutes interview with Mike Wallace. And he's trying to be honest. And I honestly do feel for the guy because, like I said, he's working on a slip and fall in front of a Walmart, and now he's making $500,000 prosecuting Trump. Well, girlfriend got you the job. So when it boils right down to it, do you think they spoke? Do you think there was a moment where he said, hey, babe, if you really want me to, I'll step down. Okay. Okay. Do you care about me? Call me. Shoot me a text. So what do you think? See, I think Morris Chestnut plays him in the movie. I think, and let me tell you something, modern-day Vivica Fox plays her. She's got a few years on her now, but still, Vivica Fox plays her in the movie.
So you say the guy's name is Dwayne Wade?
Nathan Wade. But I was
gonna say, if his name is Dwayne Wade, I got an actor for. Well, it'll be his first acting role, but I got an actor for you.
I was taking some license there. I was taking a little bit of
creative license.
Creative license. Yes, thank you for that. That's where I was. That's where I was headed. Well, so she's going to continue on. She's going to prosecute Trump. Some of the judge in the actual case, he's thrown out, I don't know, 6 or 7 of the 120 charges or whatever it was that she brought against him and a bunch of other guys. Also this week, did you see the guy who wrote the special counsel's report, the deputy attorney general who wrote on the Biden secret document thing? You know, they found the document. They're Trump's being prosecuted. They're going after Trump to prosecute him for housing these secret documents. When, as it turns out, Biden had a bunch of stuff about Afghanistan buried in that box that I think Hunter was supposed to clean the garage and didn't do it. And so that was that great meme after the secret document case. You know, Biden's got secret documents too, and they're here in the garage. I got the same meme about 50 times from people all over the country. It's a picture of Hunter Biden without his shirt on. Okay? Of course. And it's like, Dad's PO'd. I was supposed to clean the garage. But, so this guy, what's his name? Ben-Hur? Let's see. There was a special counsel, Robert Hur. I mean, seemed like a pretty sharp cat to me, because he sat and he was able to maintain just monotone throughout the whole thing, and it really facts. One of the first things to go when conducting a congressional hearing, one of the first things to be obliterated is the truth. Do not expect to find the truth within 20 miles of a congressional hearing, because Democrats, Schiff et al., they're going to rip the guy a new one. Who are you? Why did you? And then, Republicans are kind of bolstering him. Some of them went after him saying, hey, look, Trump did the same thing. How come he's being prosecuted? And this guy gets off. And then we find out that Biden's screaming at in a press conference that there's a reference in the special prosecutor's report that Biden did remember when his son passed away, that he talks about that all the time, wrongly asserting that his son passed away in battle in Iraq. And Biden's furious. Well, then you listen to the tapes and you realize that it was the president who brought it up. But he was really happy with his new shoes, his anti-fall down, as Bill Vickery Sr. calls them, diabetes shoes. But up in Crawford County, whether it's type 1, 2, 7, 8, whatever it might be, Wilford Brimley, it is sugar diabetes. You can't mean it. Well, sugar diabetes took his foot. That's how it starts. And there have been members of the Vickery family, as I've noted, the sugar diabetes got to him. Yeah, sugar diabetes. It took your cousin's foot. No, Dad, the guy was 450 pounds. That's why. Anyway, so Biden didn't remember, and clearly the audio shows that Biden brought it up, and so this poor old guy Ben-Hur, he's got to sit there and take it all day long, which he did. And he went on to note that it's like, look, I wrote a report. If we're not going to charge the guy, I've got to give some context for why that's the case. And the context was Biden's an old coot that doesn't remember anything and can barely stand up. Well, and so it's sort of like that goofy old FBI director when he goes back in and, well, I got to reopen the case. I got to charge Trump with something. I got to do, I mean, while there's clearly a double standard inside a weaponized Justice Department, and I mean, that seems pretty obvious now. It's scary. It is scary. I mean, truly. I mean, it's what I call Putin light. Certain joke here. But there's old Ben-Hur saying, look, if we're not going to charge the guy, I've got to explain why that's the case, and here's the report. So he was attacked all day by Democrats, called a bunch of names. What I found interesting is, Asian American, how come nobody brought up race? Oh, man. Where's that? Why can't, I mean, that seems to work really well for a lot of other folks. But why didn't he go, you're only saying this to me because I'm Asian American? See? Well, we'll see going forward how it all plays out. But Biden's got his shoes on so he won't fall over. At some point, it's just going to be like the old school snowshoes, with the big nets around them. Or, I mean, I initially joked about the weekend at Bernie's, but there'll be Secret Service guys that they'll tie their arms together or something. Or just
strap him to a marionette.
Just put him right. Hey, my son, how dare you? And that's the beauty, man. We're going to talk about the presidential campaign, the 10 most vulnerable U.S. Senate seats. Second hour, Stats will be on. We'll talk about the NCAA men's basketball tournament. And we'll get into, if you've been watching that Patriots thing on HBO, I've watched some of it, about the behind-the-scenes sort of thing. I mean, it just, I don't know, seems like, well, we'll get into it a little bit later. Stay with us.
You act like you never had that. You want me to go without. Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other, carry each other.
For those who push the boundaries and know no barriers, the wake up at nooners and dessert before dinner eaters, the jackpot dancers and sequined pantsers, the risk takers and heartbreakers, the hapless, the rogue, and the hopeless romantics. Our time has come. Play bold at the new Southland Casino Hotel, the Mid-South's premier gaming destination. Plan your stay at southlandcasino.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka presents the 2024 1037 The Buzz Spring Golf Tournament, Monday, April 15th at the Burns Park Golf Course. Register your four-person team at 1037thebuzz.com. Brought to you in part by Lion Legal.
Now's the time to get a great deal on a Kubota Z200 Series mower with the new K-Ride Comfort System. The Series delivers a quality cut and an exceptional ride. Right now, get a Kubota Z200 Series mower with K-Ride Comfort System for 0% down, 0% APR for 48 months, now through March 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer. Hennard Foothills Equipment, South Main Street in Searcy, your hometown Kubota dealer no matter where you live. 501-268-1987.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tune in each day to Drive Time Sports to hear Trey Biddy talk all things Razorbacks. Brought to you by Chris Crane Hyundai, Arkansas's #1 Hyundai dealer, and Genesis of Conway, Arkansas's only Genesis dealer. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Take your yard up to the next level with the Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Josh Dickinson is a former PGA Tour caddy, and his landscape designs are inspired by some of the most beautiful golf courses around the world. Call Josh at 501-794-2770 for all of your landscaping needs. Flower beds a mess? Josh's crew can give your home the curb appeal you've always wanted. The Caddy's Touch Landscaping also installs French drains, retaining walls, and they'll even take care of your irrigation maintenance needs. A Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Call today, 501-794-2770.
If you lose your pet in Little Rock, do you know where to look? Our city shelter, the Little Rock Animal Village, houses over 200 animals, so they can't tell you over the phone if your pet is there. Please go in person to 4500 Kramer off South University next to First Tee. Strays are available for adoption after 7 days, so when you're looking to adopt, please visit the Animal Village. You'll meet all ages, breeds, and sizes, and many are already trained. Just a $90 adoption fee covers shots, neuter, and microchip at Little Rock Animal Village.
What would you call a city that made $100 million a year off of gambling and prostitution? The FBI called it illegal, but here in Hot Springs, Arkansas, we just called it tourism. Enjoy the story of the great American spy told by the people who lived through it at the award-winning Gangster Museum of America, 510 Central Avenue in Hot Springs. 501-318-1717 or go to tgmoa.com.
Now, more of the Sunday Buzz with Bill Vickery.
It's existential, yet it's so accessible.
So, listen, rightly or wrongly, and whether you like it or not, we are about to enter the longest general election campaign in the history of the presidency. I say that only because, you get back pre-Roosevelt even, and I'm talking Teddy Roosevelt, the campaigns are generally pretty short. And there was a moment in time, if you remember, Bill Clinton announced in October of 1991 that he was running for the presidency. Well, can you imagine? Nobody waited until October of last year. You know what I mean? They were already, you had candidates a year out from the Iowa caucus, which is, first week in February. You got candidates all in for that. So we are going to have the longest de facto general election presidential campaign. I wish that I could say it's going to be a battle of high ideals and engagement, and we are going to see the better angels of our nature come out. But that's not going to happen. It is going to be frustratingly long, bitter, mean, tough. I mean, at some point in time, we're probably going to deal with Guatemalan campaign interference. There are going to be accusations, some of which are outlandish, that will be believed by a few. The positions of the extremes will become cement-like as we move forward. And we all battle over the 7% of the country that's undecided. Trump beat Hillary Clinton by about 80,000 votes scattered over 4 states. Biden beats Trump by about 60,000 votes scattered over 4 states, maybe 5. So the margin of victory is narrow. It's assumed that this will be a replay of that. The issue becomes the Trump campaign is, are you better off 4 years ago than you are today? And if you are, then elect me. If you look back, if you aren't, then elect me. If you look back and you said, you know what, things weren't so bad under that guy. I mean, he's abrasive, but then you're going to want to put me back in office. If you're happy with the way things are today, then so it is a referendum, as are most presidential reelects. It is a referendum on either the man or the policy. In this particular case, Trump's going to hit both. Biden's campaign is going to be, this guy's too scary to put back in office. Aren't you suburban housewives really worried? Suburban women, moms, aren't you really worried? Doesn't he? And they'll base that not on the Trump policies, but on the man. The willingness to be spiteful and hateful and attack and looking at it on the Republican side, to get off message, to go talk about, the prosecutor in Georgia and not Biden, who clearly should be the campaign focus for Republicans. So there you go. So both campaigns are predicated on focusing, isolating, and focusing on the other person and making them out to be what they truly, I think, believe them to be. And we're all fighting then over a small number of votes in a small number of states. That's where we are. And so some issues will come into play, immigration being one of them, the economy being one of them. Had an inflation number that came out this week, CPI, hotter than expected. Everybody rips Jerome Powell, and I've done that before. But the guy's got an impossible job because he has a mandate that stands at contrast with itself. And please don't text me or get me on about the Fed and the central bank and the evils of a central bank and all that. I don't want, I'm not responding to that. However, if your mandate is to keep employment high and keep inflation low, that's kind of hard to do when they might work at cross purposes. Anyway, bigger picture. Presidential campaign, it's St. Paddy's Day, and it's on. So let's take a look at some of the key swing states. This according to Real Clear Politics. They identified 7 states that they believe are the swing states. Now, pre-Donald Trump 2016, I would have told you that Republicans are maybe at a generational disadvantage in the industrial Midwest, the Big Ten states, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, that's where but Trump's come along with his brand of populism and highlighting the Democrats' elitism in those working class states, and it's I mean, Ohio's not a swing state anymore. Ohio's a firmly Republican state, and I'll get to that in just a minute because its Senate seat is up for re-election, and Real Clear Politics predicts the Democrats going to lose. That seat will be flipped. Okay. So Michigan's in play. Pennsylvania's in play. Let's just look at the Real Clear Politics average of these swing states. Because when you see, because this is going to be such a long and protracted election, and because news agencies' whole livelihoods depend to some degree on Trump, either running him down or building him up, we are going to see an inordinate amount of polling information and numbers and all of that are going to be thrown at you to justify one side's belief that it's going to win and to try to win over undecided votes. Most all of the polling that you see in news organizations is incredibly inefficient and is inexpensive, first and foremost. The presidential campaigns have their own operations. They engage. They've got their own stuff. And they need to dig down. They need real honest numbers. All of that said, here we go. Wisconsin, Trump is +1. So that is effectively, Wisconsin is effectively a toss-up state. Arizona, Trump is +5. Georgia, Trump is +6. Michigan, Trump is +4. Pennsylvania is basically 0.6, so that is negligible, so a toss-up. North Carolina is 5.5 plus Trump. Nevada, 5.6 plus Trump. So of the 7 states, 5 have what one would consider considerable leads for Trump, 2 of which are dead even at the moment. Now, on the surface, one would look at that and think that's good for Republicans and the Trump campaign. But while Brett Favre could look great throwing a touchdown pass deep over the middle in a way that you think he should never do that, he can also throw a pick in the final seconds of the game to cost you a playoff spot. So, one man that can surely motivate and win is the same man that can screw up and lose. And by the way, in all these states where Trump's way ahead, immigration is the number one issue. Stories now about Guatemalan gang leaders, the boss of some major crime family in Guatemala, a crime organization in Guatemala, was caught in Houston yesterday. And the fear is they're coming to set up shop, and you're going to see old Miami in the 80s gangland wars now. Okay. I'm going to talk NCAA men's basketball tournament. And Razorback baseball. Chance to sweep today, 2 o'clock on the Hill. Stay with us.
Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be? You drunk, you silly old fool, but still you cannot see. That's a lovely tin whistle that me mother sent to me. Well, this many day I've travelled 100 miles or more, but tobacco in a tin whistle sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Thursday night, as drunk could be, I saw 2 boots beneath the bed where my old boots should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her,
make the season extraordinary when you shop the spectacular holiday collection at Sissy's Log Cabin. From engagement rings to exclusive designer jewelry to loose diamonds, you'll find gifts everyone will love at the best prices, all while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched service and experience at any of our 6 locations or online at sissyslogcabin.com. Embrace the magic of the season only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Hey everyone, this is Heather Baker, president and publisher of AY Media Group here in Arkansas. We publish two of the biggest and most widely read magazines in the entire state, AY Magazine and Arkansas Money and Politics. At AY and Arkansas Money and Politics, we keep you up to date on all the news you need to know and the stories you want to hear. Visit us online at aymag.com and armoneyandpolitics.com to see for yourself. Now, more than ever, it is important to be mindful of where you get your news and support your local businesses. With AY Media Group, you get the best of both worlds.
ESPN and The Buzz gives you the complete sports and entertainment package.
I love that game.
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock.
RJ Hawk here with Chris Roberts from Southern Bank. And Chris, we've talked so much about that hometown feel and what it's like at Southern Bank. But if you're a commercial investor, they need to come talk to you.
We're involved with a lot of customers that have projects across the United States. Those projects can be some of the biggest projects you would see in your communities. So really, there's no project that's too large for us to look at.
If somebody's interested in learning more about what Southern Bank can do for their commercial investments, how do they get in touch with you?
You just pick up the phone and call me at 501-424-0900. Just love to talk to you about your project, see what you've got going on, and see how we can be a help to you.
And you talk about being a help. You really invest into your commercial investors by helping them through the process, looking at things to look out for along the way.
I like to think we can throw things off of each other, listen to different viewpoints, and come to the best decision.
If you want to learn more, go online, bankwithsouthern.com, or call Chris, 424-0900, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Sanders Ground Essentials presents Melinda Mayo when she joins Morning Mayhem each Thursday morning. Sanders Ground Essentials, where great lawns start today. On the web at sandersground.com. It's Melinda Mayo each Thursday with Morning Mayhem on 103.7 The Buzz.
This is Pat Bradley. At River City Flooring Maumelle, March Madness is here. They have luxury vinyl plank in a wide array of colors with 20 mil wear layer for just $2.49 per square foot. Waterproof laminate for $1.49 a square foot. And don't forget they have tile, the best in the business. Beautiful Calcutta tile for $2.50 per square foot. As always, you can get 0% financing for up to 3 years with qualifying credit. River City Flooring Maumelle, where you're always the winner.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Ulta Beauty's semi-annual beauty event is happening now. Unleash your love for beauty with 50% off daily beauty steals on hair, skin, makeup, and fragrance. Shop your favorite brands like Tarte and Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Plus, grab perfect hair care pairs from brands like Redken and Olaplex. And check out new arrivals from brands like Charlotte Tilbury and Dyson. Shop the Ulta Beauty semi-annual beauty event online, in-store, or try pickup today. Now through March 28th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
This is Pat Bradley, and I'll be on Morning Mayhem Weekly, presented by Mickey Hennard and his staff at Hennard Foothills Equipment. Take exit 42 in Searcy to Hennard Foothills Equipment, your hometown Kubota dealer, no matter where you live.
For over 30 years, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse on 65th and University has been Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters and the only stop for all your truck parts and accessories. If it goes on a truck, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has it. Like step bars, bed covers, toolboxes, and ladder racks, as well as gooseneck, fifth wheel hitches, and drop hitches. All this and more can be found at Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse, a WeatherTech Diamond dealer. 501-568-0040 or online at arkansastruck.com and ask about the all-new RSI Smart Cap.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's property activities to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patient active with no downtime, and get them back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Tune in to Out of Bounds each Monday for Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years, they're your small to mid-sized fleet specialists, offering diagnostic, suspension, tires, maintenance, engine, transmission repair, and much more. When you need someone to service your fleet and get your employees back on the road quick, call 501-375-3672. Conveniently located at 901 East 8th Street in downtown Little Rock. At 103.7 The Buzz, we love to hear from you, but we know that sometimes you just don't have time to wait your turn on the phone. So don't wait. Shoot us a text at the Southern Structural Solutions text line at 501-614-1037. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, high school or the pros, hit us up on the Southern Structural Solutions text line, 501-614-1037.
When you do something for over 45 years, you get really good at it. Like Dave here. He's been playing dominoes for over 45 years. With a flick of a forefinger, he can make a row of dominoes pop popcorn. Send an email. And run the pool table. Well played, Dave. We're a lot like Dave playing dominoes, except we do it with insurance. Williamson Insurance, protecting your business and your family for over 45 years.
For a nation searching for a voice to guide it through this modern-day wilderness of popular culture, politics, business, and sports. In these troubled times, we turn to one man. That man is Bill Vickery. Born with rural American values, possessed with superhuman brain capacity, buttery smooth charm, razor-sharp wit, chiseled good looks. He's chosen to use his superpowers for the good of all mankind. So this Sunday, the nation turns to this man for answers and direction. To Bill Vickery and the Sunday Buzz.
Be. I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. I've sunshine enough to spread. It's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head?
Well, it is upon us. The Razorbacks sucked this year, so no Razorback entry into the tournament. Questions whether Muss is going to return. He seemed to be saying all the right things, though. But, a comeback win over a down Vanderbilt team that then, imagine this. If you're Jerry Stackhouse, and by the way, Stackhouse, I love some of the suits. You know, you saw he was like Morris Day in the time. Like it was always double-breasted.
Yep.
And Stackhouse is able. This is what he was able, because he was an ex-athlete and he's still in really good shape. He's able to have his coat buttoned and he looks good. It looks like old school Pat Riley. He's directing traffic out there with the buttoned up. He was co-SEC Coach of the Year last year, canned this year. 2 of his starters went to other schools for NIL money. So, you never know what's really behind stuff, but I don't know. I didn't think get rid of Stackhouse was an answer for Vanderbilt, but Arkansas comes back to beat Vanderbilt, and then, of course, rolled over by South Carolina. It's a good South Carolina team there in Columbia, and so it's onward for the program into the offseason. There will be a significant amount of turnover on this team, as there always seems to be under Musselman, and understanding that. So we'll see what plays out. It will be interesting because, usually programs that make the NCAA tournament don't get rid of their coaches. And the ones that do are mid-major programs, and their coach leaves to go fill another void. So if he is going to jump to Louisville, UCLA, wherever it might be, if the speculation that has been this week is if any of that happens, you would think it would happen really quickly, because after today, no need to keep anybody around. And don't give me the NIT, because that doesn't matter.
Losing record, I don't think they go in the NIT anyway.
No, my God, no.
So, yeah, I think you're right. I think
no.
The only team that Arkansas has that may make postseason play would be the women, and that would be a 50-50 shot at best, I think.
Yeah, listen, it's over. It's over. Let's just end it and move on. And then that way we can, properly tourniquet off the wound. And if we've got to take the foot, let's take the foot. If sugar diabetes takes the foot, it takes the foot. We need to I want to move through this quickly, but I got to touch on this one. This came up. This was I followed this on Sports. No, not Sports Illustrated. What is this? Fox Sports. Providence basketball coach caught off guard by a bizarre question about marital status after win. Kim English, who is a man, is in his first year as Providence head coach. It looks like a handsome cat. But this is what caught my eye. And I don't know how we figured this one out. But let's see. He's in his post-game press conference after a big win in the Big East tournament. And I think this was a must-win. We keep our tournament chances alive. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. This was one of our best efforts. All standard coach speak after a win. During the post-game press conference, one reporter told the coach, quote, he was trending on Black Twitter. Now, we got to find that, Todd, because I don't know what Elon Musk is up to, but, man, that guy's pretty smart. I don't know what Black Twitter is.
Nor do I.
Well, of course not, Todd. Look at us.
Right.
I mean,
we're so the opposite of that.
My gosh, we're a couple of foxtrot guys in here. You know what I mean? Pardon me, young lady. Would you care to waltz? I mean, we're not falling for nobody down the tailpipe. He's trending on Black Twitter. More specifically, people were wondering about his marital status, and I think it was kind of high. Is he single and all that? But I bring that up just because, yeah, we're going to need to know how do you and I get on? How do you and I get? Where can we find that? And is it something that Musk has started separately? He's trending on Black Twitter.
Do you need a separate login, or can you use the one for regular X?
It's you and I are a couple pretty white guys. I mean, like I said, it's penny loafers and Madras plaid. It's for you. I mean, I don't know one. Yeah, you and I'd stick out. I think. Hello, my friend. We're exactly who Dave Chappelle's talking about. But trending on Black Twitter. Well, I need some people to text. I need some people to reach out to me about that. How do I get on Black Twitter? Another Irishman, Van Morris, gets us out of here. We're going to talk to Stats on the other side of the break about the basketball tournament, do you care now about the women's tournament because of Caitlin Clark? Has she galvanized America's attention to drag some of those viewers over? And will they give Iowa, is it really going to be kind of a WWF situation? They're going to put them in the best seed and the best spot and all that. Stay with us.
Smith & Wesson revolvers are built to suit the demands of the most serious firearms enthusiast. And for a limited time at Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart, receive a $50 rebate on Smith & Wesson J-frame revolvers or a $75 rebate on Smith & Wesson K-frame, L-frame, N-frame, and Governor revolvers. This offer expires April 30th, so hurry before time runs out. Max Prairie Wings with the best selection, the most competitive prices, and all the ammo you need. So make the short drive to Stuttgart today or online at maxpw.com.
Morning Mayhem broadcasting live from the Little Rock Zoo Tuesday. Come see the new Dragon Kingdom exhibition. Roar, soar, and explore the mystical world of dragons. Learn the similarities and connections between animals of the natural world and mythical creatures.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your bed. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Ulta Beauty's semi-annual beauty event is happening now. Unleash your love for beauty with 50% off daily beauty steals on hair, skin, makeup, and fragrance. Shop your favorite brands like Tarte and Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Plus, grab perfect hair care pairs from brands like Redken and Olaplex. And check out new arrivals from brands like Charlotte Tilbury and Dyson. Shop the Ulta Beauty semi-annual beauty event online, in-store, or try pickup today. Now through March 28th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
Do you feel that, Arkansas? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1 million. Why should you care? Because this $1 million+ prize can only be won in Arkansas. There are 2 Lotto drawings every week, and the jackpot keeps growing until there's a winner. Join the fun and play Lotto today. A $2 ticket could change your life. Get yours in stores or on the Jackpocket app. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Coach Nolan Richardson joins Randy and Rick every Thursday for Rollin' with Nolan, presented by Slim Chickens of Central Arkansas. There are a lot of places to get chicken, but there's only one Slim's. It's Rollin' with Nolan, Thursday at 6 on 103.7 The Buzz.
Some people aren't easily inspired. They require a little more craftsmanship, more elegance, more excitement. Some people are inspired and see the future before it's here. They see the GV70 for its selection as a car and driver 10 best, GV80 for its soft quilted leather, reclining and heated second row seats, and for its IIHS top safety rating. What inspires you? The all-new Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Johnston's Home Center in Benton is your one-stop shop for appliances, bedding, lawn care, and sewing. That's right. Johnston's, your hometown shop for sewing and embroidery machines, supplies, fabrics, and more. For your outdoor needs, check out their steel chainsaws, leaf blowers, riding mowers, and a wide selection of lawn and garden equipment for the green thumb in your family. Johnston's Home Center, 1421 Military Road in Benton, or on the web at johnstonsHomecenter.com. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it.
Did you know you can have high cholesterol without any symptoms? High LDL or bad cholesterol can have a big impact on your cardiovascular health, increasing your risk of a heart attack or stroke. Reduce your risk by knowing your LDL cholesterol level and working with your doctor on a treatment plan. Lowering your LDL cholesterol today can help you enjoy a healthier tomorrow. Visit the American Heart Association at heart.org/LDL to learn why lower is better.
Thank you for joining the Sunday Buzz. Here's your host, Bill Vickery.
Unbelievable.
Well, the honky tonks in Texas were my natural second home, where you tip your hat to the ladies and the rose of San Antone. I grew up on music that we call Western swing. It don't matter who's in Austin, Bob Wills is still the king.
Well, typically, I said, wonder how you get on Black Twitter. And all my white friends send me Wikipedia references.
Oh, here it is in Wikipedia. I looked it up.
A man who cuts across all genders, creeds, colors, races, religious affiliations, sports affiliations, whatever it might be. Mobile on his way to Oxford, Mississippi is our man, Stats Norsworthy. You can hear Stats on Monday through Friday in the afternoons on WHBQ Radio in Memphis. He is the king of Memphis sports, a proud graduate of the University of Arkansas, and as we noted several times on the program, much like Pete Rose and his lifetime ban, Stats is banned forever attending an intramural athletic contest on the campus of the University of Arkansas. Hello, Stats.
Good morning, Brother Bill, and you're right. Not even allowed to turn left and drive up Razorback Road when I go to Fayetteville. I just crossed the bridge in Helena, though. Always good to come through the hometown of the great Philip Tappan and come through Helena, Arkansas.
Worked in a Phil Tappan reference on the program already. I love it. I love me some
great human beings that ever walked planet Earth.
He is a fine man. A fine man. He's probably too white to know about Black Twitter, but we won't drag Philip Tappan into filling our stuff.
No, we can't do that. Don't do that on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You may ask, why am I going to Oxford through Helena? It's actually about 10 minutes shorter. And I knew on Sunday morning with not agriculture that time of year yet. It's still a little wet after big rains this week. And on Sunday morning, I knew a lot of people would be in church. I mean, there's nobody on the road.
Yeah.
And it's about 10 minutes shorter from my home coming through this way. And I love coming through this way and especially on this day, St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to work in a second friend reference. My late friend Clay Randolph, his birthday was today, and he loved going to Oxford through Jonestown, Mississippi.
That's awesome. That's it is a fun drive in East Arkansas. It takes you back.
It is.
Takes you back.
And through the Delta, and flying through Jonestown and come out at Batesville and then get to Oxford and get to baseball today. And Ole Miss trying to go for the sweep today against South Carolina. The Razorbacks got the brooms out at Mizzou, and this is the year for the Razorbacks. This is the year for the dog pile in the middle of the field in Omaha, no doubt about it.
Well, let me ask you this: is it possible now that, and we've talked about this on the program before, that the SEC is a better baseball conference than it is football, basketball, track, whatever it might be, that it is better as a conference now, and then it clearly is the best conference in the country when you look at the makeup of the top 25.
Bill, it just is, and that's with Texas and OU. That's with the Cavalry on the way.
Yeah.
And you're even going to see it more this time next year, and it's going to make fans even more angry when it doesn't end ultimately like they want it to,
right,
for whatever stripe, whatever proclivity, whatever fan base you're a part of, and it's rough. Now, this week I had somebody ask me, why do we not pull in basketball with kind of the SEC brethren kinship like we do around football season, around bowl season? And Bill, I think I'm on to it. I know this is my personal feeling, but I think it speaks writ large for our kind of SEC fan bases. When we get into bowl season, a lot of those bowls are SEC against Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan State, maybe even Notre Dame's thrown in there, Penn State, and we get the whole north-south thing going.
Yep.
At basketball time, I don't think it's that all-for-one, one-for-all quantity to it, because at basketball time, when you get down to the end of the bracket, it's usually SEC maybe against ACC or Big 12.
Yep.
and we have a little more, well, maybe not like, we have a little less contempt for them than we do the football thing. And I don't want to sound, I don't want to be ugly about it, but it's basketball. We don't have the passion that we do at football time. And in the SEC world, we haven't won it since 2012 when Kentucky won it with Anthony Davis and Calipari down in New Orleans. The Big Ten hadn't won it since Izzo in 2000, and the Pac-12, literally in their last hours of existence, they haven't won it since 1997.
It does make you realize, and I think partly because of what used to be the one-and-done status, but the mid-majors play such a big role in especially the early round upsets, and that leads me to a question that I have for you, Stats, is obviously America loves the tournament. It combines two things that I think Americans love great: organizational charts, the actual chart for the tournament, and then
we love a bracket.
And then we love a bracket, and then goofing off at work. It allows you to goof off at work on Thursdays and Fridays especially. But do we love the tournament stats more for the early round upsets by the little-known schools, or do we love it more for the Elite Eight, Final Four, big-time programs, showdowns, final seconds, Christian Laettner over Kentucky moments?
The easiest answer is both. You don't have me on for easy answers, so I'm going to do the hard one. America loves St. Peter's and St. Leo's and St. this and St. that and Fairleigh Dickinson. They love that more because of the Schadenfreude of it. You're seeing big knocks over, and you love that. A few years ago, when Abilene Christian beat Shaka Smart in Texas, I said the next day on the air, it had to be the largest disparity in an athletics budget in the history of any sports upset, because Abilene Christian and our friend Ted Krass is assistant coach there, and they do great things with their program, but it's a very limited budget compared to Texas, compared to UT and Austin.
The Texas athletic budget is actually bigger than the GDP of Guatemala. Few people, if you really look at it.
And they're proud of it.
Yeah.
And what have they cashed it in with? Nothing in basketball ever. And football was the freak show that Vince Young put on, and that's the only thing they've had since black and white TV.
Yeah. Since Tommy Nobis and the.
I don't know if black and white TV's part of Black Twitter or not, but I meant the old reference of
old school.
When we didn't have color TV.
Right, old school. You were using that as a moment in time reference.
And I'm scared to say black and white TV, and I'm scared to say color TV.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, today's world, I'm fairly confident we are canceled on Vietnamese Twitter right now as we speak.
We're done in Bangladesh, Bill. We're already out.
Ho Chi Minh City, we're drawing a 0.0. Let me ask you this, Stats. Is Caitlin Clark a better NIL draw than any male player that's going to be in the tournament?
I think she probably is. She's earned it. It's been a spectacular career for her, and it's going to make a lot of people that have never done a women's bracket and never watched a single solitary second of it watch it. I applaud the women's game part, and there's growth opportunity out there in women's sports for it to be a budget maker for places, and people will welcome that. But historically, it just has not been. We know what produces revenue, football and men's basketball. But if we get to that point, I celebrate it. If a young lady's out there watching her and being motivated by that and wanting to model a career after she seems like a fine person, I think it's great for the sport, for sports.
It is. And let me ask you this. Given the evolution of the NBA game, Steph Curry, the three-point shot, that seems to dominate the offensive end of the floor in the NBA. Now we've seen that trickle down to the college game where everyone's jacking threes left and right, sometime to no avail. That highlights an aspect of the women's game that seems to be more on a par with the men's game. I mean, you can't tell me it's as exciting to watch the interior part of basketball for the women's game as it is the men's game, because there's not the high-flying dunks and the rejections and all of what appears to be the overly athletic plays that are made. But when you're talking about spotting up for three or shooting a three off the dribble and all of that seems to be, that's making the women's game more watchable. Is that?
And people like her the showmanship. They like her style of play. You know, it's reminiscent of when I was real small of Pistol Pete Maravich.
Yeah.
Made a lot of people really watch the game. I think it's been exciting. Now she will be a big draw, especially in this rookie year for the Indiana Fever. Let's see if she can sustain it, because like soccer in the United States and a couple of times for women's basketball, we've had the savior that didn't save us.
Yeah, there is a Red Grange sort of element to it. You know, put her, a barnstorming tour around America as she kind of moves through that rookie year in the WNBA. So kind of understanding that from a business standpoint, how do you see the women's game? Will we see? I guess I'll put it to you bluntly: is the NCAA going to bend over backward to put Iowa in the best possible spot so they can go the furthest? I mean, if Caitlin Clark's playing in the national championship game purely as a business move, that's much better for the NCAA. But how far can they try to put their finger on the scales to help the team?
As far as they have to, and they should, and because it is a business. And how often have we talked about they're releasing a TV show? They're releasing the only money maker the NCAA still they have is the men's basketball tournament. They're trying to profit off the women's tournament. They absolutely should give them cozier treatment, because if you want to have somebody kind of galvanize and get people interested in it, why put them in a seed that could bury them early?
Yeah, that's a great point, because you've got, I mean, on the one hand, the women of George Mason University beating Iowa in the round of 16 or the second round in a major upset. While that will be a lot of quick television clips, the longer, bigger story to drag it out over a period of time, to have it play on the Skip Baylesses and the Shannon Sharps and the podcast and everything else, is to have Iowa make a run. But how? I guess my question is, you said, is there a point of no shame where the NCAA can look and just go, I mean, I feel for the officials that have to officiate that game. Can you imagine if she fouls out and doesn't play the last 7.5 minutes of a game or something like that?
Right, or if they don't call fouls on the other team. Getting a little rough treatment with her on defense. But Bill, let's don't act like we haven't ever done it in men's sports. But let's don't act like the NCAA tournament bracket's never been drawn up more conducive for people. In fact, they came along with the pod system to make it easier on teams in locations. Like this week, either Charlotte or Memphis is going to get Tennessee, where they can get a crowd out for those early round games. And even in football, Bill, let's don't act like we haven't done it there, because there's the whole story that Coach Bryant used to call a sports writer in Memphis about 2 days before the bowls were released, and he would call him and he would say, "Get your pencil out, here's the bowl games." And he had drawn up every one of them, and he had drawn them up to where it was more conducive for him to win, and maybe he pitted somebody else where it would be harder for them to win, and then he would even make it even better that he would take his officials to his bowl game.
You know, that is an excellent point. I mean, you said that, and it was such an eye-opening statement during the Final Four in football, when you said they're announcing a television schedule, and one show leads into the other show, and you have a day, and you've got millions of dollars at stake in advertising. You are indeed announcing. I mean, wherever Duke goes, they're eyeballs that are going to follow Duke basketball wherever, but you want, in this particular case, Purdue is a great team. Houston, the number 1 team. But I can't name a player. I mean, Kelvin Sampson, I can name their coach, but I can't name a player on the Houston team. And so does that hurt the NCAA tournament? There are no Christian Laettners anymore that America got to know over the course of 4 years.
No, here are the brands. The brands are on the front of the jersey and the coach. And we knew every player on Phi Slamma Jamma, from Michael Young to Alvin Franklin to Larry Mishaw to Reed Geddes to Akeem Olajuwon to Clyde Drexler to Greg Anderson. We knew that whole lineup, and we knew them well. But now you've got to sell that sizzle of the front of that jersey and that coach. But how long will that coach? And we know coaching carousel season has started. Eric Musselman has certainly let his name be floated. He hasn't rebuffed any of it. I don't think he will leave. The Razorbacks mostly, I know Eddie Sutton left, but mostly when the Razorbacks want to keep a coach, really in any sport. I know they've had some leave. There are some examples, but mostly when they wanted to keep a coach, they keep a coach. But I had a booster this week tell me, why are we paying these coaches this kind of money? Shouldn't we be funding NIL with that and just getting a good kind of ragamuffin X and O type coach with a big payroll?
You and I have talked about that. The first athletic program that seizes on that says, look, I'm going to go get a good X's and O's offensive coordinator and a good X's and O's defensive coordinator and a nice good guy or a guy to kind of run the ship in a style that we would like here at the university. But we're going to take $25 million and we're going to spend it on this year's team. And that's what's transforming. It's happening slowly, but some athletic program is going to pick up on that and it's going to be gone. And you can see it coming. And that's why I think athletic programs are willing to stick with coaches and not fire them and pay buyouts because they want to raise money for NIL, and they can't do that when they're still paying 2 or 3 or 4 of the most expensive NIL buyouts of all time, and that applies to basketball coaches over and over too.
It sure does, and you see it right now. UCLA was really going to set the music with the coaching carousel, but Mick Cronin's buyout is so punitive that even the Wassermans that bankroll UCLA athletics, that they don't even want to step up and pay that because everybody thought it was going to be Mick Cronin back to Ohio State and Dusty May to Indiana. Indiana didn't want to pay Mike Woodson the buyout because they just paid the big buyout to Tom Allen in football. So these boosters are looking at it, go, we'll pay a football buyout, but you've got to be stuck with the basketball guy.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a hierarchy of paying sort of dead cap or dead money or sort of the entrenched cost, sunk cost, so to speak. We're not going to do that. We'll do it for this guy to get him out, but I think there's going to become more and more a willingness to stick with coaches longer because one player comes along and makes all the difference in the world, and now all of a sudden you don't have to pay the buyout, but you can afford to pay the power forward that you really need to be the rebounder on that team because of the great kid that's going to come along. Does NIL?
I've got a friend of mine that wants to give whatever you have to give. I'm not going to name the school. I'm not going to name him, but he's going to give whatever you have to give.
Oh, well, Stats, I think we lost you. I think.
Nope.
Okay,
sorry,
we got you. No, we got you back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine that he wants the best spots in the stadium. So I called the person that I think could help him out, and this person told me, said, "Hey, what about NIL? Would he be interested in that?" So I called him back. He actually said no. He said, "I want a box, whiskey, tickets, TV. When it's hot, I'm cool. When it's cold, I'm warm. I'm not interested in buying a point guard."
Wow. But, but a lot of fans, the only reason they go, let me back up. Let's do this, Stats, because we could go down you and I have to do a whole hour on NIL this summer where we can take some time and really kind of dig into it? Because I've got to get you. So give me Final Four predictions as you see the men's tournament playing out.
And remember, I got overtime right in the Super Bowl.
Right,
so
you did. You called overtime in the Super Bowl, and that as a prop bet should have made you a millionaire.
Well, it didn't. I can at least say I was right on the Sunday buzz. That's worth $1 million.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, you can take that to the grave.
That's right. I'm going to be no fun here. I think everybody's playing for second. UConn repeats. They're better than they were last year. So I start with UConn. Then I go to North Carolina. Yeah, yesterday scared me, but it didn't shake me too badly.
Yep.
I go North Carolina second. I would go Houston third. Yesterday with Houston scared me.
Yep.
And that's what scares me for them to win it all is they have that clunker of a game where they score 52. That wins you nothing. They got 41 yesterday, and it sure doesn't win you anything. And then the fourth team, I'm going to go with Bruce Pearl and Auburn.
Oh, wow. Well, they're going to win the SEC tournament today, noon tip-off. So you would think that they would win, right? I mean, it seems like all systems go. They're well rested, and they've been. It's been a muscle flex through the SEC tournament for them.
I think he's the best coach in the SEC, and I discount Tennessee having a chance. Love Rick Barnes. I think he's a mighty fine man, but he's second round Rick for a reason, and their exit from the SEC tournament and Kentucky's just scared me to death.
You are right about Houston, and that goes back to the days of Phi Slamma Jamma and Guy Lewis and the towel chewing. You knew it was just a matter of when the game was going to come, and for Elijah Wan and those guys, it came usually at the very end where they were going to poop the bed in the
at the very end.
Yeah, at the very end, and they did, and they just kind of ran out, and you knew. I liked the great Joe Klein. You love old Jumpin' Joe from Slater Mo. He would look, he'd go, man, every time we played Houston, we'd see him run out on the court, and Elijah Wan and Drexler and Mishaw and all those guys you named off, and they're dunking, and and you look and go, how are we going to hang with these guys? And then you looked over and saw, and there's Guy Lewis, and you said, okay, we got a chance. We got a chance. He's the Jimbo Fisher.
And they did, and this is how great Houston and Phi Slamma Jamma and Team Olajuwon, they really were. In 1983, he was MOP of the Final Four, and that's the last player to be MOP of a Final Four on a losing team. There are a lot historically, including Bill Bradley on a third-place team, but Akeem Olajuwon, most outstanding player on the Final Four team, in defeat when they lost to Jimmy Valvano into North Carolina State.
Yep. Last question. Should we bring back the third-place game? I mean, I remember Boothead pulling up free throw line, beating Notre Dame in the third-place game when Kentucky and Duke played for the championship.
Boy, and listening to it was like trying to tune in Tokyo, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it was. It was. That's a great point. The radio broadcast was like it was done during the bombing of Dresden or something, you know.
And remember, the cheap shot from Bill Lambier that hospitalized Jimmy Counts for several weeks with a collapsed lung.
Yeah, Lambier was a cheese bag even then, you know.
I hated him then.
Yep.
And still hate him.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But should we bring?
I love Dr. Jimmy Counts.
Should we bring back? A true Razorback legend. Should we bring back the third-place game?
From White Station High School in Memphis.
Should we bring back the third-place game? Would it be fun?
No, Dale Brown was right. On the afternoon that President Reagan was shot, and they almost canceled the Final Four that night. LSU played in it and lost, and he went to the media post-game. He said, how do I tell my players we had a great year when we finished the season on a 2-game losing streak? The next year, the tournament goes to CBS, and CBS didn't want any chance of that third-place game getting into their broadcast window. It was scrapped. It was scrapped in the regions. We used to have a loser bracket in the region.
That's right.
Into the early 70s. They got rid of that. No, nobody wants to play for third place.
Stats, I know you're driving. Good luck today, Rebels. But how much fun is it going to be? Ole Miss in Fayetteville, LSU in Fayetteville for baseball this year, the Razorbacks in Oxford. Just be a fun It's going to be a fun baseball season.
It's going to be a fun baseball season. Ole Miss goes as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just going to be just a fun season all the way around. Thank you, my buddy.
You got it.
Stats Norsworthy, WHBQ Radio in Memphis. Working triple time today on a St. Patty's Day, Todd. In the car on the way to Oxford.
I believe that deserves a green beer.
You would think. I think he gave that up a while back.
Now he's just drinking greens with the mix and the little immersion blender.
You get the non-alcoholic stuff.
Yeah, the O'Douls.
Got to hit a break. We get back to wrap this St. Patrick's Day moneymaker up after this.
I see a darkened room somewhere. You run your finger around the rim of his glass. Run your fingers through his hair. They scratch across his back. Fade to black.
If there's anything green in your yard right now, it's probably a weed, and you need to do something about it. Weed control and fertilization service from Sanders Ground Essentials is easier and less expensive than doing nothing or trying to do it yourself. I did that one time and almost killed my yard. Sanders Ground Essentials saves you time and money and makes your yard the envy of the neighborhood. Don't wait. Do it now. Call Sanders Ground Essentials and get started with Sanders Ground Essentials Weed Control Program. Servicing all of Central Arkansas, including Cabot and Jacksonville. On the web at sandersground.com. Let's get growing.
Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse presents Match Game on Morning Mayhem. Listen for your chance to play their version of the classic TV game show. Brought to you by Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse, Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters for over 30 years. Call 501-568-0040 today or click online at arkansastruck.com.
When you get on a bike, you got to watch out for gravel, potholes, and knucklehead drivers.
But after a crash, here's what you got to watch out for. Insurance adjusters. They can be tough on injured bikers.
They might try to pin the blame on you or pay you less than you deserve.
So if you've been injured, here's what you should do.
Call the lawyers who look out for bikers. That's Rainwater, Holt, and Sexton. Motorcycle crash? Call Rainwater, Holt, and Sexton. Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888. Non-lawyer spokesman.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
Hey, it's Coach Z, Razorback basketball color analyst. I'll be on Out of Bounds Tuesdays this basketball season, recapping the Hogs. I can't wait. Thanks to Telco Federal Credit Union, providing homes since 1950 for your dream home, duck cabin, home remodel, or vehicle. Check them out online at telco.com.
Hey folks, Trey Johnson here with HJ Trailer Sales in Hot Springs. Spring is coming and everyone is getting ready to get outside. So if you need your trailer serviced or repaired, let us help you out, or you may be needing a trailer to get your golf cart to the golf course, or you need a trailer for work, or if you just need to buy a new trailer for recreational use. Let us help you at HJ Trailer Sales with one of the best service departments in the state. Visit us in Hot Springs or check us out on Facebook or at hjtrailersales.com.
Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort presents Oaklawn Game Day, an inside look at the week's big games, exciting prop bets, and the latest betting lines from Oaklawn Sportsbook. Justin Acri and Oaklawn's Director of Sports Wagering, Zach Gillum, give you all the info you need to place your bets at Oaklawn. Catch it on the Buzz Wednesday nights at 7, and again Thursday mornings at 5:30 before Morning Mayhem. Oaklawn Game Day on your fun and game station, 103.7 The Buzz.
Hey, here's a question. After you wear your clothes, you toss them in the washing machine, right? Nobody wants to wear dirty clothes. So how come you don't throw your shoes in the washing machine when they get dirty? I mean, come on. Your shoes are touching the filthy ground all day long. Gross. Well, with Skechers, you can. Because most Skechers are machine washable. That's right. Skechers are specially made so you can toss them right in the washing machine and keep them clean and looking new. And when they look new, you can confidently wear them longer. That's less shoes you're going to want to throw away, which means less waste. And it'll save you tons of dough. I love that. Plus, machine washable Skechers are for the whole family, men, women, and kids. So when your kids get their shoes dirty, and we know they will, just wash them. Brilliant. And even our latest technology, New hands-free Skechers slip-ins are washable. You just step right in and go without bending down or even touching your shoes. So give your Skechers the same treatment you give your clothes. Just toss them in the washing machine and keep them looking brand spanking new. Find machine washable Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear happens to be sold.
Tune in every Friday morning to hear Danny West from Hogsports.com on Morning Mayhem. Brought to you by HJ Trailer Sales. They've got truck beds and utility trailers for every type of job and a service facility for maintenance and repair. Local folks with great products. Visit them online at hjtrailersales.com or in person at 808 Albert Pike in Hot Springs.
You're listening to the Sunday Buzz on 103.7 The Buzz.
It brings us together.
And now, here's Bill Vickery.
Oh yeah, what a night.
Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right.
1978, I think, for Kool and the Gang. Maybe. I could be wrong.
Sounds
It's
about
thereabouts,
right in that
ballpark.
neighborhood. Yeah.
It's 1 year, plus or minus. Headed out to Sauce a little bit later. Check out the Auburn, Florida SEC championship game. You got to think Auburn wins. And I agree with stats. I think they're peaking at the right time. We'll see how they make the run. He did note that Eric Musselman's name has been mentioned with some deals, and frankly, no, the coach hasn't done anything to quash that conversation. Now, a couple of interesting aspects here, and this is before anybody calls in and break out the checkbook, the board of trustees, and it's all the goofiness, planes on the tarmac. I did note that Gus Malzahn is being widely mentioned as the next head basketball coach at the University of Arkansas. But Gus Malzahn was also being mentioned as the next women's golf coach at the just anytime there's a vacancy at Arkansas, Gus Malzahn's name. The assistant professor of chemistry, Gus Malzahn, there's a plane on the tarmac, Gus Malzahn. I just like to say that. Who's Robert Kennedy going to pick as a running mate?
Gus Malzahn.
Gus Malzahn, playing on the tarmac. Gus Malzahn.
Lord knows he shouldn't be picking Aaron Rodgers.
Anytime Gus, well, he's got that bad Achilles. He can't be running around on the campaign trail.
Have someone else in the White House wearing sugar diabetes
right,
shoes.
he'd have the sugar diabetes shoes, like poor old Sleepy Joe. He's got him out there. I like these shoes. Corn Pop, he's got to tie his shoes. I just Velcro these things over. No reporter asked. I got to depend on Inside Edition to give me the Joe Biden diabetes shoes. Okay, a couple of facts here. One is the buyout for Musselman's only $1 million. Now, we just say that. I mean, it's a lot of money. But relatively speaking, it's just $1 million. So, and no real talk of extensions have come along. I really like our athletic director, Hunter Yurachek. I do. Because you can't have Gus Malzahn, dictate the coaching salaries of people on the basketball team. So, okay. Hey, listen, had a good run. 2 Final Eights and a Sweet 16, but that covers up some stuff that's a little 5 years. Did you know this? Dig a little deeper. In 5 years, and I like Musselman. I'm on the Muss bus. I am. I am not interested in him going somewhere. I want him to stay. But all of the craziness, let's just look at some of the numbers. Arkansas has had a losing record in conference 3 out of the last 5 years. The Kansas win in the Sweet 16, that covered up a lot of sins from last year, which Arkansas finished 9th in the SEC last year. Against top 25 teams this year, we parade Duke up and we beat Purdue in a meaningless exhibition game before the season started when they brought that big Ivan Drago-looking guy down here. Okay. But Arkansas was 1-8 in games involving top 25 competition. 1-8. So, and look, I'm on the Muss bus. I don't want to lose Muss. I like him. I want him here. I want him to be the coach at the University of Arkansas. I do. But there are some realities that you have to face when you look at these kinds of things. When you're trying to see 24 months into the future, if you're Jerome Powell at the Fed, you got to look at the data and you got to say, okay, well, we love Muss, and I do. And I am pro-Muss. But 1-8 against top 25 comp, 3 out of 5 losing seasons in conference, not to mention seemingly the annual poop-the-bed game around Christmas time, either right before or right after Christmas, where we always seem to poop the bed. And inside a league where the competition is going to be even more difficult now that you bring in Oklahoma and Texas. So, I mean, now the question, well, who do you get to replace him? And that's always the thing. And I do appreciate great corporations and great institutions have never lived in fear of who do you get to replace him. Lincoln fired generals left and right. He didn't get, look, this guy's no good. We can't beat the Southern. We can't beat the Confederacy. Give me a new guy. Well, who are we going to get to replace him? But you can't take him. You can't make a decision like that until you find it. No, this guy's got to go. He's bad. Not going to happen. So I don't want Muss to go. I want Muss to stay. But there are some realities that have to be examined as you look at the basketball program. And I want him to stay. And I think if Eric Musselman's the coach at the University of Arkansas, next year will be a great year. He will go put a program back together, and we will have a good season, and it'll be a nice run through the tournament. I think it'll all be back to the hootenannies of whatnot, if indeed he stays. But it seems like these flirtations are not going to elicit a new contract and an extension and a bump of the buyout and all of that. Because I think Stats was right. I think gone are the days of the buyouts. Enter the NIL collective. So here's one for you, boys and girls. Who has a bet? If you throw out their first years with the team, Musselman's first year and Pittman's first year, who has a better in-conference record percentage-wise? Till next week. Oh, I will not be here next Easter Sunday morning next Sunday.
No, Easter's in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, I will be here. I will be here next Sunday. I won't be here Easter Sunday. Thank you. The St. Patty's drunkenness has already gotten to me. You gave me a Guinness during the break, and I'm kidding. He did not. No one call Acree and tell him I was drinking on the air, because I wasn't.
Acree would probably be the one. Well, I
won't
go there.
I'll have him a Guinness or two today. No worries. I'll be out at Sauced. I'll probably have me a Guinness out at Sauced later today, watching the Auburn-Florida game. Till next week, boys and girls, look out for number 1. Don't step in number 2.
He's carrying my child. Well, I drive down